world that often relies heavily on the visual, we have individuals who have mastered the art of seeing with the heart. Their senses are finely tuned instruments to read the symphony of life in ways many of us can only imagine. The way they cultivate an unparalleled ability to listen, feel, and perceive the world in ways that extend far beyond the limitation of the visual spectrum. A warm and a pleasant morning to each and everyone gathered here. SAHODAYA, which says blossom together, is an association of St Aloysius College, which had its inception in the year 2000. And today, SAHODAYA has brought us together not merely as a community bound by courage, determination, with an unwavering belief in the power of human spirit, but to celebrate individuals with distinct abilities. Because we believe that the absence of sight does not diminish one's brilliance. It only illuminates the extraordinary strength that lies within. And with the theme, Ability in Disability, SAHODAYA is trying to sensitize the idea that individuals with disabilities possess unique talents, skills, and abilities that can be recognized and celebrated. And on this occasion, I, Dr. Mona Mendonça, stand before you as your host to celebrate these remarkable individuals gathered here, who are truly the beacons of courage, ambassadors of resilience, and masters of the extraordinary. And for this special occasion, we have a thematic song that's composed by our very own student, Rohan Desa. So let's rise and join together as I invite our college choir to lead us into prayer. I now request Dr. Charles Furtado, the Director of Admin Block, to escort the dignitaries as well as the resource person on through the days. May I now request the chief guest of this program, Reverend Dr. Praveen Martis, SJ, the Principal of St Aloysius College, along with the President of this event, Reverend Father Melvin Pinto, SJ, the Rector, and Dr. Alvin Desa, the Registrar of St Aloysius College, who would be accompanied by the very special resource persons who we have today, Mr. Vishal Jain, Mrs. Arpita Chandrasekhar, Mr. Shreyas Reddy, and Ms. Vegha Pathangi to come on to the dais. I request all the audience to kindly put your hands together and we'll welcome all the dignitaries onto the dais. If you feel that the dais is looking more meaningful, you can give a huge round of applause. Thank you. Smile is the universal welcome. And today, it's a special occasion, perhaps a rare celebration, I would rather put it that way. And on this occasion, we have a very special person who's going to give an introductory remark followed by a welcome speech. So may I now invite Dr. Alvin Desa, the Registrar of St Aloysius College, to welcome the gathering.
Very good morning to each and every one of you gathered here. Good morning. There are a lot of activities taking place in this college on a daily basis. But this one, Eyeconic 2024, organized by St Aloysius College Autonomous under the aegis of SAHODAYA Association, I would like to welcome each and every one of you to this Eyeconic 2024. And I would like to tell you that this is one of the programs that are closest to our hearts. To begin with, I would like to speak a few words about SAHODAYA and how it all started. As Dr. Mona Mendonca mentioned, this was a project of 120th year of this college. It was actually started in 2000, and SAHODAYA was one of the projects taken up during that time. And how it all happened was, Dr. Charles V. Furtado, now the director of the admin block, after a few years of his service, one day was found by the then principal, Reverend Father Prashant Martha, on one evening with a pretty girl. We were not looking that wise during that time. Yes. And then he curiously was looking at this young, handsome new staff who had joined the Department of English along with a pretty girl walking towards him with a lot of confidence. And then he waited. And when they reached, he asked them, "What is this?" There was a stick in their hands, and Charles Furtado sir was actually training the girl who was visually impaired in using the white cane, which he already knew. And that day, Father decided that we should do something about this. There is a person who is passionate about this particular issue. Therefore, naturally, he thought of one new association. It was not called the association. It was a outreach program of the college called SAHODAYA, Blooming Together. And immediately he took action. Dr. Charles Furtado had this uncanny affinity to visually impaired people. And he used to identify people when he used to walk on the roads and streets of Mangalore, earlier in Bangalore. And I also heard that he blindfolded himself and the high traffic, he went about blindfolding himself into hopping from one city bus to the other, into the markets, just to get a hang of how to empathize what these visually impaired people go through on a daily basis. So with the leadership of Prashant Martha and Dr. Charles Furtado, we started SAHODAYA. It was not an association. It was a true voluntary organization. Pure, uncontaminated volunteerism was displayed during that time. Committed people of 25 to 30, and every year more people joined. And there was a bus which to take every Saturday afternoon to all these places where these visually impaired as well as other specially abled persons, they used to go and visit, students used to go and visit them. After coming there was a transformation. There was an impact and there was reflection. Therefore, all the students, whether they get marks, whether they will get attendance, there was nothing mandatory about it. There was no incentive given. It was pure voluntarism, and it almost began like a movement among students. Therefore, I would like to thank today Dr. Charles V. Furtado for initiating this new movement called SAHODAYA at St Aloysius College. A big round of applause to him. And when I see Dr. Roshan D'Souza today as the president, Rochelle, and the student volunteers, I personally feel very proud, and we have similar people taking it forward. We went to Manasa, Pambur, where there are people with special abilities, in-house and also day scholars. And one overnight stay and camp was organized there. And father, principal, and I wanted to visit them in the evening. When we reached there, to our surprise, we could see Dr. Roshan D'Souza along with his wife and kid son also were there. The entire family stayed there whole night, next afternoon, and they came back with the students together. This shows the passion of the president. Therefore, there is a good future to Sahodaya at St Aloysius College. Now I would like to come to the point of welcome, the formality of welcome. Stevie Wonder, you know, a visually impaired iconic singer, once is supposed to have said, "Sometimes I feel I am really blessed to be blind because I probably would not last a minute if I were able to see things." My mother had a rule, obviously, that I couldn't go across the street by myself. But I had to find a way of doing it. If you don't ask, you don't get it. Dignitaries on the days and of the days. It is a great privilege to welcome all of you to this mega event, very meaningful event called Eyeconic 2024. Let me begin with the icons first. The first person is Mr. Vishal. Can you just stand up and wave the hands to the students here? Thank you very much. Vishal is an MBA from IIM Lucknow and has over 10 years of experience across automobile and energy sectors. He has worked with the Tata Motors in Mumbai and is currently a global HR consultant with Shell in Bangalore. He is a passionate mountaineer I'll read it again. He is a passionate mountaineer to achieve the feat of reaching Mount Everest base camp at 18,200 feet above sea level. Vishal has dedicated himself to enable individuals with disabilities to realize their capabilities and foster a more inclusive world. Congratulations and a warm welcome to you, Vishal. Now may I request Miss Megha to stand and wave your hands at your students who are waiting for your inspirational interaction. She is an accessibility specialist. Megha is visually impaired due to retinitis pigmentosa, RP they call it. She works as an accessibility specialist in Pega Systems Worldwide India and is a qualified company secretary with a part-time certification on interior designing. She regularly volunteers for various NGOs working for the empowerment and employment of persons with visual impairment, where she teaches the students digital accessibility. Megha is passionate about teaching, cooking, traveling, and connecting with new people. Big round of applause to her. A warm welcome to you, Megha. Now I request Mr. Shreyas to stand and recognize your presence and wave at your students. Fantastic. Mr. Shreyas, the founder of Samatwa Center for Social Cause, is an advocate and a social activist. He has obtained MBA, Masters in Sociology, LLM in Corporate and Commercial Law, and BA LLB degrees and is currently pursuing his PhD. He is instrumental in providing pro bono legal services to the needy. Shreyas is an academician who believes in educating and empowering women, marginalized youth, and differently abled persons. A warm welcome to you, Mr. Shreyas. We have with us Ms. Arpita Chandrasekhar. Shall I have a good round of applause to her? She is a bank officer. Arpita is a postgraduate in special education. She started her career as a teacher and later as a project coordinator at the All India Confederation of the Blind in Delhi. During this time, she traveled across the country working with visually impaired women in empowering, educating, and creating awareness on their rights. She has participated in the formulation of the UN Convention of Rights of People with Disabilities to have represented the South Asian people with disabilities. Big round of applause for this great achievement. Since 2014, she has been employed at Corporation Bank as an officer. A big round of applause to her. Congratulations to her and a warm welcome to Arpita. We have with us, who is going to preside over this function, our beloved rector, Reverend Father Melvin Joseph Pinto. He is the representation of the core values of St Aloysius College, a man of commitment, a man of compassion, a man of competence, and a man of conscience. He has always been supporting the college in all its activities. He is not a person who leads from the front, but he believes in the leadership of accompaniment. He is with the other leaders of the institutions of units who accompanies them in all their activities and endeavors. A warm welcome to you, Father Rector. May I request Father Principal to offer a green welcome to Father Rector. We have with us the steward of this particular institution, who has taken St. Aloysius College to a different level altogether through his leadership qualities and passionate endeavors. He has also been able to start something like the buddy system and the eco warriors. These two are on lines with SAHODAYA. Students don't come for attendance. Students don't come for marks, but they come with passion. They quietly work for the college, the buddies and the eco warriors. And the entire campus is green to this level is because of their hard work. We need to have more warriors like this in different fields in the college. He has initiated all this. People with passion, without any incentives, work from their heart and improve the campus life. A warm welcome to you, Father Principal. I have already talked about Dr. Charles V. Furtado, the Administrative Block Director. A warm welcome to you, Dr. Charles Furtado. The dynamic president of SAHODAYA, Dr. Roshan D'Souza, and the other presidents as well as the volunteers. A warm welcome to you this unique and special event. This event also was possible because of the generous contribution of one of our well-wishers, a philanthropist, with a person with the largest heart possible. That is none other than Mr. Michael D'Souza, who has been supporting us in all our endeavors. Representing him, we have Mr. Stephen Pinto and Mr. Oswald. A warm welcome to you representing him. Can you just stand up and just, yeah. A warm welcome to, yeah. Besides the iconic figures on stage, we have some people who are equally brilliant, have done a lot of things in their life, achieved a lot in their life, who have accompanied them. May I request Mr. Chandrasekhar, who is Arpita's husband, spouse of Arpita, who is here. Yeah, can I request Dayamadi Niltira sir? Yes, give a big round of applause. He is also visually impaired, accompanying his wife, his spouse. He is also a talented person. He is, you can say, tabla maestro. Okay, and very interesting news is that he is going to have a tabla recital in front of you after some time. A big round of applause to him. So that is for the iconic couple, okay? Yeah. Yeah, may I request, to give a rose and give a floral welcome to Mr. Chandrasekhar. We have with us Mr. Guru Raj. Big round of applause to me. He is also visually impaired. And he is Arpita's friend and has accompanied. A warm welcome to you, sir. Let's give him a floral welcome. We have Mr. Neil Gerald Lobo. Yes, just wave it, people. Yeah. He has also accompanied Miss Mega's friend, right? Yes. He has come all the way. So a warm welcome to you. Big round of applause to Mr. Neil Gerald Lobo. We have with us Swarna Gauri, Miss Swarna Gauri Mutturaj, trustee of Sarva Mangala Trust. She is running a trust. A warm welcome to you, madam. We were expecting Miss Meghana, who is actually working with the Mitra Jyoti Trust for the visually impaired Mangaluru. A warm welcome to her in her absence. Okay, so she has not yet reached. And we have our own icon. Last, but never the last or least. May I request Anvith to stand up and wave at your friends. Look back and, turn. Yeah, big round of applause. He is our own student. He completed his degree at St Aloysius College as a visual impaired student and got the first rank in BA. Then he pursued his postgraduate program in Mangaluru University, securing gold medal, first rank once again. And right now, he is pursuing his PhD at Mangaluru University. He also had the grand desire to become an IAS officer. I think it is still on, Anvith? Yes, it is still on. Let us wish him all the best. A warm welcome to you, Anvith. We are very, very proud of you. So there are so many other people that I have to welcome quickly. All the students, Sahodayans and other volunteers, you are going to be treated to a great motivational as well as inspirational morning today. A warm welcome to all the students who have participated here. A special word of welcome to students from St Agnes College, Roshini Nilaya, Milagris College, Mangaluru, St Aloysius PU College, and St Aloysius Institute of Education. A warm welcome to each and every one of you. A warm welcome to the directors of the various blocks, Dean, HODs, the Public Relation Officer, and all the student volunteers. And thank you for this opportunity and have a wonderful, engaging morning today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for welcoming the gathering. And on this special occasion, I welcome you too to this intellectually fulfilling event. In a world that's often characterized by chaos and noise, your ability to find beauty in simplicity is a guiding light. Their laughter, their achievements, and their unwavering presence are the beacons that illuminate the path for others. And this is so true when it comes to the four resource persons we are having today. And now it's time to inaugurate Eyeconic 2024 by lighting the beautiful lamp. So I now request the president of this event, Reverend Father Melvin Pinto SJ, along with the chief guest, Reverend Dr. Praveen Mates SJ, the registrar of this college, Dr. Alvin Desa, along with Dr. Charles Furtado, the director of admin block, and the convener, to kindly light the lamp and formally inaugurate this event, Eyeconic 2024. We can put our hands together. On this beautiful day, we have with us as the chief guest of this event, that's none other than our own principal, Reverend Dr. Praveen Mates SJ, who has redefined the word visionary. And now it's time to listen to you, Father. So put your hands together as we welcome our chief guest to address the gathering.
Respected Reverend Father Melvin Joseph Pinto, Rector of St Aloysius Institutions and the President of today's Eyeconic 2024, and the resource persons of the day, very special people who are with us, Miss Arpita, Mr. Vishal, Mr. Shreyas, and Miss Megha, Dr. Alvin Desa, the Registrar, Dr. Charles Furtado, the Director of Admin Block, Mr. Roshan, Dr. Roshan, the President of SAHODAYA Association, the distinguished guests of the days, our student, Mr. Anvith, and my dear members of the faculty and students. It's a very special morning for all of us. And I am very much proud and very much touched that two of my students are here. I didn't know that among the panelists here, there was one of my students when I was in Bangalore as principal of St. Joseph's College. As we entered the lift, he heard my voice and said, "You are Father Praveen," and you admitted me to St. Joseph's College. Unfortunately, I had forgotten the days and all that, but Mr. Shreyas has even remembered my voice and immediately said, "You are the one." And same thing is to happen with Mr. Anvith. When he was a student here, he would hear me from far and call, "The principal has come." So this is their capability in remembering and also respecting the other. I was very much touched by them. I'm sure the others also will touch us with their experience today by sharing what happened to them. Sometimes I feel ashamed with all the abilities that we call and say that sometimes we find difficult, the struggles are there, but then when we look at the specially abled, the differently abled who make such kind of progress in their life and making life and giving some special touch and meaning to life, that will, I'm sure, our students today, those who are here, you all have come with a lot of love to listen to them. That will definitely inspire and motivate you. There was a guru who was taking classes for the students, and he was telling them of various things, how to study and how to live. and how to make progress in life. But there was a blind student. He had a question in mind. He rose up and asked a question. Is there anything worse than losing one's eyesight? Then the guru looked at this blind student and said, yes, you may lose your eyesight, but if you lose your vision, you lost everything in life. And I think that is what these special guests, those are with us, the Arpita, Vishal, Shreyas and Megha, has proved that they have got a special vision. They may not have the eyesight like us, but then they have a vision far beyond all of us. And all those have really given us something very, very special. They are not the people that whom we have listened to like Helen Keller and others, but they are the ones who are with us, in front of us. And those of us, those are studying with us and inspiring us to say that we can do something more. And Mr. Anvith was here getting rank when he was a student, just competing with the regular student who had all abilities, but then he would do something far better than the other students and continue to do his studies. And he came here to St Aloysius College and wanted to be the lecturer, professor at St Aloysius College. And unfortunately, I could not fulfill his demand or his interest at St Aloysius College. We are promising him after his doctorate, as we are becoming the university, that Mr. Dr. Anvith definitely will have a place at St Aloysius College. I think definitely, as I said, they challenge us, isn't it? Are you all challenged? After listening to them, you'll be more challenged to do something beyond. You're already doing good work, but then I think we are challenged to take life positively. Life is a gift given to us by God, and God has given us all abilities and practically everything that is needed. And now it is our responsibility to do something very, very special in our life. We are living in a corporate world, very different world. Everyone wants to be a selfish individual human being, wants to earn, wants to make money. And recently we had a conference on entrepreneurship, and everyone was talking about how to make a lot of money. I can make maybe 2 billion, 10 billion. I want to be a unicorn or a decacorn. That was the talk. But today the talk is something very, very different. We are not going to make such kind of money or talking about that. Today we are going to talk about the service. That is going to be missing in today's world. Unfortunately, yes, we need money, we need a good job and good profession, but then we need to also think and do something for others. St. Aloysius College strongly believes in that, and also the motto of the college is to become men and women for and with others. Only when you serve others, only when you think about the others, only when you think about the progress of the others, your life will be fulfilled. And there is no doubt about it. And these students have truly proved that. I'm sure that is what they're going to challenge us today. Challenge us to think about the other. Think about the millions who are poor. There are thousands who are having different kinds of abilities. Now, do we stand by them? Are we with them? This is the question I think you need to ask today. All of us need to ask and say, what am I doing? What I have done so far? What will I do in the future? I think those questions will be answered only when you reflect on this day. And when you deeply reflect, you will be able to greatly contribute to this college, to this universe, to this planet where we are living. Let that happen today. And let us listen to them rather than I speak on this occasion. Let us listen to them and let they motivate us today or challenge us so that we today onwards change the course of our life, maybe direction of our life itself. That might happen to few of us, And that's my prayer today. And that will change the direction of our life, and we will make a difference in the lives of the others. I would like to especially thank the SAHODAYA organization, especially Dr. Charles Furtado, was a visionary who started this long ago, 2001, and it has grown strength by strength. Unfortunately, during the time of COVID, we had a little break, and again we have come back with a bang. So I would like to especially thank you, Dr. Charles Furtado, and the present team with Dr. Roshan is also a very passionate individual, along with the students who have been working a lot and making a difference in the college and in this region. I would like to thank them for their service. Also, I would like to encourage others to join them voluntarily and also see that we make a difference in the lives of others. Thank you. God bless you all.
Thank you, Father, for giving a very beautiful message. The message is, remember, we are not defined by what we lack, but we are defined by the boundless possibilities that resides within us. Thank you so much for addressing the gathering. Imagine for a moment the canvas of life painted not with colors and shapes, but with their vivid strokes of courage, resilience. And that's the four resource person with us today, whom I address as intellectually abled individuals. They saw every obstacle as an opportunity, who started challenging and facing challenge as a stepping stone, every setback as a moment that propels to go forward. And their journey is a testament to the triumph of the human spirit over adversity. And now it's time to recognize and celebrate their achievement. So I now request the first resource person who is with us, Mr. Vishal Kumar ji, to kindly stand as we have a very small honoring ceremony in recognition to your achievement, which has set as a benchmark that motivates our students in the days to come. Mr. Vishal Kumar is based in Bangalore with MBA from Indian Institute of Management, Lucknow. Vishal has over 10 years of experience across automobile and energy sectors. He's currently a global HR consultant with Shell, has earlier worked with the Tata Motors in Mumbai. Vishal is an avid mountaineer who has climbed the Mount Everest base camp of 18,200 feet above sea level. He has done skydiving and has jumped from a moving flight from 13,000 feet above the sea level. He's also a musician who can play 6 different musical instruments. Once a school dropout, but now recognized nationally for empowering lives. For over a decade, Vishal has worked with individuals with disabilities on discovering their potential, and worked with the corporates on making products accessible, with the government on policies and researchers on solutions that are accessible to all. He is passionate about making world more inclusive. And now it's time to honor him. May I request the dignitaries on the dais to kindly come forward and do the honors. I request the president of this event, Reverend Father Melvin Pinto S.J., to honor him with the shawl. The chief guest of this event, Reverend Dr. Praveen Martis S.J., to offer a garland. The registrar of St Aloysius College to offer him a fruit basket. And I request Dr. Charles Furtado to give away the memento, which has a beautiful replica of St Aloysius Chapel. We have Mrs. Arpita Chandrasekhar. Kindly give a huge round of applause as she truly deserves this chair of honor. Born as Anjum Taj in Bangalore in a Muslim family, she completed her schooling at the Sri Ramana Maharshi Academy for the Blind, graduated from NMKRV College for the Women, studied journalism, optional English, and women's studies, and completed post-graduation in special education from Madhya Pradesh Boj Open University. Initially started her career as a teacher, later served as a project coordinator for Blind Women's Empowerment Project. Traveled across the country, worked with the blind women in empowering them, educating and creating awareness for their rights, participated in the formulation of the United Nations Convention of Right of People with Disabilities in the year 2006. She represented the South Asian people with disabilities. After working for the social sector for almost 7+ years, she switched over to the IT field, served in various capacities at various companies, later joined Corporation Bank in the year as a probationary officer, later promoted as scale-off officer in the year 2020. Her areas of interest are chess, cricket, singing, and reading. Happily married to Mr. Chandrasekhar M. They are blessed with 3 beautiful children. She later changed her name to Srimati Arpita Chandrasekhar. And the most fascinating fact is, I would rather say an interesting coincidence, she was born in a Muslim family, married to a Hindu, and then married on the day of Christmas, the day Jesus Christ was born. Perhaps a secular citizen. May I now request the spouse of Mrs. Arpita Chandrasekhar, Mr. Chandrasekhar, to kindly join your wife as we honor her. I request all the dignitaries on the dais to kindly come forward and honor Mrs. Arpita Chandrasekhar. I request the rector to honor Mrs. Arpita Chandrasekhar with a shawl. The chief guest of this event, Reverend Dr. Pravin Martis S.J., to garland her. I request the registrar to give away the basket of fruit. Dr. Charles Furtado to present a memento. And I request the convener of this event, Dr. Roshan D'Souza, to florally welcome Mr. Chandrasekhar on this occasion. Mr. Chandrasekhar is a talented tabla artist whose performance we are going to see very soon, and it's such a blessing to have you amidst us today. We have Mr. Shreyas Reddy. Mr. Shreyas Reddy is an advocate. He has obtained various degrees like MBA, MA Sociology, LLM in Corporate and Commercial Law, a BA LLB, and is presently pursuing his PhD from Christ University. He completed his schooling and primary education in very supportive school, Tunbridge High School, Bangalore. Further completed his AS and A levels in international schooling. Later, he pursued his bachelor's and master's in BMS College of Law and Christ College. He is a practicing advocate who is instrumental in providing pro bono legal service to the needy and disabled. He has interned into distinguished justice under the Honorable High Court of Karnataka and the Honorable Supreme Court of India. Consequently, he has provided free legal aid to various people like drivers, street vendors, and volunteers. The founder of Samatwa Center for Social Cause, he is an activist in all fields of law with specific reference to disability, law, and public interest litigation. He is also awarded with various awards given away by late former Governor V.S. Ramadevi, Dr. Thomas Candy, H.D. Sidlingaya, and former Governor H.D. Bharadwaj. And we are so proud to have you, sir. And now I request all the dignitaries on the dais to kindly come forward and honor Mr. Shreyas Reddy. I request the chief guest to garland Mr. Shreyas. Registrar to offer the basket of fruit. Dr. Charles Furtado, the Director of Admin Block, to present a memento. What is women empowerment is perhaps defined and redefined by Ms. Megha Patangi. Ma'am, it's an honor to have you today amidst us, and I request Dr. Charles Furtado to kindly escort her to the chair of honor. Working as an accessibility specialist in Pegasus system, worldwide India since 2 years, with overall work experience of 6+ years. On educational front, she is a qualified company secretary with a part-time certification on interior designing as well. She has worked for various NGOs, working for employment and empowerment of persons with visual impairment, like Vision Aid, Mitra Jyoti, likewise. She assists students on digital accessibility and on few other ad hoc requests. She is passionate about teaching, and few other areas which interest her are cooking, traveling, and connecting to new people. Ma'am, in appreciation for your achievements, we want to honor you now. So may I now request all the dignitaries on the dais to kindly come forward and proceed with the honoring ceremony. Gone are the days where we used to fetch for role models across globe. I think it's high time we recognize and appreciate the role model that is right in front of our eyes. And that's Mr. Anvith Kumar, a native of Mangalore who had a low vision by birth and became totally blind at the age of 12. After completing his PUC in Sri Gokarnatheshwara College with 88%, in 2016, he joined BA in St Aloysius College and studied between the academic year 2016 to 19 and passed with 89% with a gold medal. Later, he pursued his master's in political science from Mangalore University, secured first rank with a gold medal. Currently pursuing his PhD under the guideship of Professor Jairam Amin on the topic India-Sri Lanka relations, aimed to become an assistant professor, and he's also completed his NET and KCET examination and is also done his certificate course from foreign universities and Swayam. Recently awarded with National Fellowship for Persons with Disability for doing PhD. Apart from this, his hobbies are writing, reading books, playing keyboard and playing tabla. Sir, we appreciate your achievements and this is the time to honor you. May I now request all the dignitaries on the dais to come forward and honor Mr. Anvith Kumar. So all the proud Aloysians, put your hands together. Today it's truly inspiring to have our own Aloysian, Mr. Anvith, a person who overcame all the adversities. He tried to adapt to the situation that was given to him, but nothing stopped him from fulfilling his dreams. And now we are going to listen to Mr. Anvith. Kindly welcome him with a huge round of applause.
A very good morning, respected dignitaries in the dais, my teachers, friends, all the students. So actually I am very happy to come here and to remember all my memories, what I spent in Aloysius. So let me start with few things. When I came here to Aloysius, I was not that confident or that skilled. But today I am speaking in front of you. That is also in English. This is because Aloysius. Aloysius has given me so many things. In fact, it has given me the confidence to lead the good life and also happiness and peace. Today, if I need any help, if I make one call to any one of my teachers here or my friends, they are ready to do all the help. I have never in my life bothered to about the scribes because every time teachers will help me out to get a good scribe. And I have memories of every persons here, like principal and all other staffs, who have helped me. Everyone has their own story for me to tell. For example, when I had come here, the principal was so good. In fact, I had a liberty to go to his office directly to get any sign. I had never waited outside because the principal was so good. And many a times when I was sitting outside there in the admin block, sometimes principal himself used to come and speak to me. How is the class? How everybody is treating you? How is everything? And in the initial days, I didn't know that he was principal. I thought somebody was asking me, maybe of my yeah. It was just once I met him. It was during my interview, and for many times I used to sit there because my parents or my uncle will come late to take me. So it was for 1 hour, 1.5 hours, I used to sit there. Sometimes he used to come out and ask me, had your lunch, had your tea, how is lecturing, everything. Then one day suddenly I was sitting with one of the staffs there. He was speaking with me. Suddenly when he came, we stood up and respected him. So that time I came to know, oh, he is the principal. So I will still remember that memories. And our Alvin sir is there here. Alvin sir. He always used to ask me, what happened, man? Whenever you see me, you always smile. Because I say, you are so energetic and you always, some kind of a smiling person. So that's what I learned from him. Very peace-headed, always used to smile. That time he was vice principal in our admin block. So each of them have given so many things for me to cherish here, the support, the confidence. And I said, I'm happy because these people have, enjoyed my success and my failures. In fact, whenever I cleared net, I got job, these people have posted in status and all. Our Alvin sir, I used to see, whenever I upload in Facebook, his like will be there. Or sometimes he will comment. So that's why. And let me tell you a few things, because you are all the students here. So sir said about my gold medal in degree, first rank in MA. But thing is that why that gold medal came, that came because of determination. So what I expect with you all is that the determination. You should have the humbleness to achieve it. Then you will learn. So what happened in my degree life was that I was blessed with good teachers, good friends, and supporting all, some are not my friends, but still they used to help me out in many ways. So I was not the topper in the first semester. It was a nice story. I was not a topper in the first semester. I just lost the first place from 6 marks. But automatically, our classmates used to, they gave me the position that I am the first rank itself in the first semester. Then I used to feel so awkward because there is a girl who got the first place. But they are always saying, though she got the first place, but you are our hero, you are the one who got the first rank. Then I thought, I have to must get it the first rank itself. So in the second semester, I beated her and I got the first place. But this first place is like a chief minister post. You can't change the seat. You have to try again and again. I thought, God, please give me one more first rank in third semester. Then I thought, okay, now there are 3 competitors. Now let others take a chance. But because of the expectations of the people, I never, had a free time. I have to study hard just to get a first rank. This is how the gold medal came. The expectation was so high from the teachers. And let me tell you, the Aloysius have given me so many things, because after going out from Aloysius in the university, if I want any help, sir, I want some scribes, sir. Within a day, he will arrange. That time, Dheeraj sir was there here. I used to ask him. Then now, always, sir, if I ask him, he will arrange. Then, if I want any materials, if I send any message to our political science lectures, they used to give us. That was the biggest strength. When I went to the university and when I sat in the class, I thought, how I am different from these people. Then I remembered, I came from Aloysius. These people came from University College. So, in the skill level, in all the other activities, I was far better than them. And best thing was that I had good friends to support. They are still supporting. There are good teachers, and they are still expecting from me. That was the biggest problem. Alvin sir, when I was having the convocation, he already said, this man is now taking a gold medal in degree, and surely he will take a first rank in MBA. That is there, the audio clipping is still there with me. So this was the highest expectation I had, and most of the support I got from the Aloysius. That's why I always used to say that my body is in university, but my soul is in Aloysius. So this, yeah. So this was the story of first rank, gold medal. Then I got awards. Then the next story was about my guest lecturer job or the teaching job. It was my favorite job. That was my dream from my childhood. So this was the very hardest time I faced. From 2021, I passed my MA. Then 2022 November, for 1 year, I had no job, because I was always expecting to go for a lecturing job. And what happened during this time, I applied for a few places, but they denied. Nobody never says directly that I am a blind, so I am not giving you a job. They will say different reasons. My friends, my teachers, my chairman in the university tried in other places, but I didn't get the job. Suddenly, after waiting for a year, I lost hopes. And on the other hand, like, some of them started to advise me, you give up this expectation or dream of getting a lecturing job, because you are a blind. How you will control the classes? How you will take the attendance? How you will correct the papers? So all the questions. I said, there are many people in Karnataka, only in the coastal area, when you have no awareness, when you have not seen people, you are thinking on this side. But slowly, after when it was near to a year, I lost the hope. Then suddenly, in the month of December, when I actually had some problem with my net certificate, that also had made me to not to apply for any university, central university. So I also lost that, and it was a very tough time. Suddenly in the December, actually in October, there was an interview in the university. And on the November 28th, I got a call that you have been appointed as a part-time guest lecturer in Hampagatta Degree University. I was shocked. Then again, I told that happy news to my family. One of my cousins used to say, maybe brother, they didn't had any candidate, I think. That's why you have been selected. You waited for 1 year. Nobody selected you. Then I said, it is not because of the candidate, that is because of my chairman. He always used to say, when any time comes, I will be there. And my university knew about me. So, but still I had some doubt whether he will appoint me or not. This was the situation. Sometimes the people with us also never going to understand it very well. And I got a call, I was worrying. Then I was, sorry. Okay, so that was the story. And I got the guest lecturer post. Thing was that, life always makes us to learn. And my life has helped me to learn many things. So after getting a guest lecturer job, I worked in the university. That was a different story. And now I am doing PhD. So what I tell to the students is that you have to have a nice determination, nice hope, and always should have confidence to win more, and always should learn from the good people. We can just motivate you. but inspiration should come from within you. And this was a wonderful initiative taken up by Sahodaya. I am a member of Sahodaya while I was here, and they always done so many good works for the blinds. And I am very happy to be a part of Sahodaya. And thank you so much for giving this opportunity. Thank you for inviting us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Mr. Anvith, for inspiring our students. And I think the takeaway is this something that is stopping us from reaching our goal? Perhaps nothing. Thank you so much for taking us down the memory lane and, telling us few beautiful memories that you had when you were studying here. Now we have with us a very special person, the president of this event, Reverend Father Melvin Joseph Pinto S.J., the rector of our institution, the fountainhead of all our activities here. Father, may I please invite you to give away the presidential address.
Good morning to you all. Dear Father Praveen Mattis, the principal of the St Aloysius College, Dr. Olvin Desa, Dr. Charles, Dr. Roshan, our special guests today, we have got Vishal, Megha, Arpita and Shreyas, Anvith, and the other guests in our audience, and especially the members of the staff and my dear students. I'm sure you are waiting to listen to the special guests today and their story of their grit and determination and what the faith they had in themselves and the belief in themselves because of which they have achieved so much. I'm not sure you will be willing to listen to me giving a so-called presidential address. All I want to say is just two things. One is, we have got potentialities. If we have got 100% of our potentialities, we know we have got 5 senses, and we are so lethargic that we take it for granted. And therefore, we don't listen carefully, we don't see properly, we don't even feel properly. Our smelling senses also is, dim. So also our taste buds. We are not very powerful with this because we take it for granted. But when you have one sense absent, the other senses automatically take over, so much so they become very powerful. And that is why I have so many experiences where visually impaired persons, I remember one case where I had visited a visually impaired school in Whitefield in Bangalore. And there was a little boy who, showed me his skills of reading Braille, and then he showed me his skills of singing, and then he said, I will ride the bicycle for you. And I got scared. It was a small little courtyard, and he took the bicycle and he was going in circles. I was feeling frightened. I said, enough, I know you know to ride the bicycle. But he went so fast within that courtyard, he knew how to go fast with that. I was thinking he may dash into something or someone. But nothing happened, thankfully. And I was really amazed. I wished him well. 12 years later, I went to Whitefield as a chief guest. I had forgotten it. But this boy, as soon as my name was called, he came and said, I remember you. And he told me how he had displayed his cycling skills and his reading. He remembered, and then it came all alive to me. And I said, if his memory is so good, and if he could recognize my voice, it is something of a heightened kind of other senses. And that is why I liked it when he said, God, when he shuts one door, he opens another. And I am sure these are the beautiful experiences that our special guests today have. The second thing I want to say is, again, something very special. We think we are doing a great favor to the visually impaired by helping them. I have always believed that those who are visually impaired and are specially differently abled are a blessing to us. You are a blessing to us. I have always noticed when there is a visually impaired student in the class or a differently abled student in the class, the other students in the class become more human. They teach us how to become more human, how to become more sensitive to each other's needs. Automatically, all the students in the class turn to become very, very humane, try to understand and become sensitive to one another, because you feel sensitivity is what we lack among human beings. And automatically it comes. And who teaches us this? Our friends who are probably differently abled or visually impaired in this case. And we are so proud of you. We are so grateful to you, all four of you, special guests, Vishal, Shreyas, Arpita, and Megha. I'm sure you made a big, big difference to the lives of so many people. And it is not we who are doing something for you, it is you who are doing a difference to humankind. And may God bless you, bless all the efforts that you put in to see that others like you also have a meaningful life to lead. You are having meaningful lives, and the others also will have meaningful lives to lead. And the students who are going to listen to you are definitely going to really be inspired listening to you. May God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Father, for reminding us students about the limitless potential we all have. I think perhaps we have to stop thinking in a way wherein every morning we wake up and take disability so lethargically. Maybe the moment we get into any house or when we build our own house, we don't take a moment to think whether this house is friendly for a person who is disabled. When we look or take any public transport, not even a minute do we think about how is it favorable for people, somebody with a disability, which says that somewhere perhaps we have taken these things into granted. And we as students receiving every kind of wisdom from every corner of the world need to be more sensitive, and Sahodaya on this regard is really putting up all the big projects to see that students are sensitized. Thank you so much, Father, for giving away that message. And now I request the convener of this event, Dr. Roshan D'Souza, to thank the gathering.
Good morning to all. I'm honored to propose a vote of thanks and to make closing remarks for this unique event called Eyeconic 2024. It's our privilege and joy to host four personalities who see the world in a very different way. Today, we shall have the privilege of listening to the inspiring words and stories of Mr. Vishal, Ms. Meghna, Mr. Shreyas and Mrs. Arpita. These extraordinary individuals have not only overcome the challenges presented by the visual impairment, but have also emerged as beacons of hope, strength, and resilience to all of us. On behalf of St Aloysius College, I express my gratitude to all four of them. I also thank their family members and friends for accompanying them. Can we have a round of applause to... At this moment, I must thank a special personality, Mr. Michael D'Souza, who is a well-known philanthropist and a good friend of this institution. When we approached him with the idea of having this kind of program, he extended his support wholeheartedly and encouraged us to go ahead. We are grateful for his support and also for his monetary contribution for this event. Although he accepted to be the chief guest of this program, he was unable to make it today. But we are glad that in his place, Mr. Stephen Pinto and the other guests have arrived. Mr. Oswald. On behalf of St. Aloysius College, we thank Mr. Michael D'Souza and the dignitaries and wish you all success in the philanthropic work. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to Reverend Dr. Melvin Pinto, S.J., the rector of St. Aloysius Institutions. A person with humble attitude himself, the rector consistently promotes the idea of reaching out to society. When we presented the idea of hosting this event to him, he willingly agreed to be the part of this program and accepted our invitation to preside over the function. Thank you, Father Rector, for your presence and your message. My sincere thanks goes to our dear principal, Reverend Dr. Praveen Martis SJ, who has promoted and initiated a number of social, cultural, and academic programs over the past years. Under his leadership, the Institute has grown into a dynamic and lively organization which has nurtured the idea of inclusivity. Thank you, Father Principal, for all the initiative and especially today for being part of this program. I would like to thank our Registrar and Controller of Examiner, Dr. Alvin Desa. He has been a strong pillar of support for all the social outreach programs in the campus. A proud Sahodayan himself, he has always provided guidance and support to all Sahodaya activities. I thank Dr. Alvin profusely for all your support. The program Eyeconic that we have today is possible because of one person who envisioned this day about 4 to 5 months back, carefully chose the right individuals for this event, personally reached out to them, and meticulously planned every detail. This individual who founded Sahodaya serves as an exemplary model of how a Sahodayan should be. I'm very fortunate to work alongside with Dr. Charles Furtado in organizing this event. Words do not suffice to express my gratitude to Dr. Charles, and on behalf of Sahodaya, I thank you, sir. I'm grateful to our special guest, Mrs. Swarna Mutturaj, a good friend of Sahodaya, and Mr. Anvith Kumar, a proud alumnus, and all special guests, those who have accepted our invitations to grace this occasion. Thank you very much. I express my gratitude to all the staff and students from other colleges who have graced this occasion. A successful program requires an excellent host. We are very fortunate to have Dr. Mona Mendonça, Assistant Professor from the Department of History, hosting this program and bringing charm to this event. Thank you so much. We have many staff and students to thank for their contribution in making this Eyeconic a reality. I thank Dr. Shalini Ayyappa, Department of Psychology, for being a mentor for Sahodaya and to have supported this event right from the beginning. Although she is unable to make it today, I thank her in her absence. I'd like to thank all the media personnel present here and covering this event. Thank you very much. I thank Mr. Likit Chennai, Department of Journalism, and Vijay Raj, a student from 2nd BA Journalism, for diligently designing the brochure, banner, and backdrop for Eyeconic. I also thank Mr. Ashwin K., a student from 1st year Visual Communication, for his help in designing certificates. The prayer song we heard this morning was beautifully composed by Rohan Desa, a student from 3rd BA. I thank him for his meaningful composition and all the students from Psychology Department who joined the choir. My special thanks to Mr. Reggie John, Department of Economics, and Mr. Joyan D'Souza, Department of MCOM, for their help in receiving the guests this morning. Thank you very much, sir. I thank Mr. Manoj Fernandez, Department of BBA, and Mr. Abdul Rashid, Department of Visual Communications, for arranging the covering of the event with photo and videography. Mr. Naveen D. Almeida, Department of English, for judging the competitions, and Mr. Christopher D'Souza, Department of Kannada, for helping with stage lighting. I thank Ms. Sahana and Ms. Meghana from Department of Chemistry and Ms. Valina D. Almeida from Department of Biochemistry for stage arrangement and registrations. I express my gratitude to Nigel Matthias and Vandan Raskina for getting prepared for the welcoming the guests. Hope you'll listen to them during the fillers. I also thank Amrita Chennai 3rd BSc students for planning out the inaugurations. The event would not have been possible without the support of SAHODAYA presidents, secretaries, and volunteers. I wholeheartedly thank Ms. Rochelle Tavro and Mr. Vinay for meticulously executing this event, and Vian, Kristen, Rolwin, Sainandan, Jaslita, and all other student volunteers for their active volunteering and participation. Finally, I would like to thank each and every participant here for registering in large numbers and for your active participation. Have a nice day.
And now I'm thrilled to invite Mr. Vishal Kumar Jain, who is the first speaker of the day. Sir, over to you.
Okay, first thing first. I cannot see you nodding or smiling. So what do we do? If you can, verbalize your responses. Is that all right? That was a test question. Nice. And since I am the first among the four, let me set a bit of context of what we are listening for. Why are we here? Such a good opportunity to bunk classes, right? Okay, apart from bunking classes, why are we here? There are 1 billion people with disabilities globally, which is 15% of global population. We don't see them around, right? And 80% of them acquire disability during their lifetime, which means it could be any of us or close ones. So it's important for us to understand what disability means and what can we do. Secondly, what Father just mentioned, right? People with disabilities, with time, adapt and learn to use their senses better. What if you can do that as well? You can do a lot more with the same time and effort, right? So maybe you might get some couple of tips on how to do that. Keep a watch. And lastly, you listen to so many stories on WhatsApp, Snapchat, or today you listen to some of us. What does it mean? It's stories of others, information. Yeah, anything we listen, see, hear, it's an information. When does it translate to knowledge? Is when we experience it ourselves. Yeah. So what you listen, go back and see what you can experience for yourself. That's when you can call it as your knowledge. Yeah. So don't listen to the stories alone. Make your own story. That's what matters the most. Okay? So maybe I'll bore you with 3 of my stories for today in the next 15 minutes or so. Okay? Firstly, I come from a small town called Ballari. Well, not that small now. I dropped out of school after 9th. My eyesight was deteriorating. I couldn't see and read anymore after 9th. I didn't know what to do. So dropped out of school. I didn't study for 3 years. Similarly, my brother for 7 years and sister for 12 years. All three couldn't see. So chance brought me to Bangalore. I learned computers, got in touch with a few volunteers, a few close ones in the family who supported at that crucial time. And I got back to school. I got into BCom second year, and that's when we started thinking what to do next, right? Like many of you are at this stage of what next? Job, how? Higher education, so much of competition, how? Competitive exams, right? That's where I was. And I, after thinking, decided that I'll do MBA from one of the top 10 institutes. If I do, from top 10, otherwise I won't. So my friend and I were discussing, and he said, okay, you need English, math. When I moved to Bangalore, I couldn't speak a sentence in English, but still I had improved it. Logical reason, I'm very logical. Then I said, math. That was a bomb for me. I had not studied math for 9 years. So I said, fine, let's check where I stand. So I took a mock test. I took an old question paper, wrote a CAT exam. And can you guess how much did I score? Any guesses? Out of 300? 100. Hey, who is saying 0? I scored -10. But that helped me understand where I stand, right? So that was the whole point. So what's important first is to know where you stand and get started from there. So I got started with 3rd standard book of maths and started preparing for it. Yeah, somehow worked hard and got some support. And along the way, people were saying, Vishal, are you mad to be so adamant about getting into IIM? There are 3 lakh people writing exams. There are hardly 2,500 seats in the top 5. What are you trying to do? And with -10. But we need to keep things simple. There are 3 lakh people appearing and trying for it. But there are 2,500 seats. I just need 1. Yeah. So when we simplify things, it becomes simpler, and then you're less tensed and you're able to focus better. And that's what happened. I got into IIM Lucknow, which is one of the top 5 MBA schools in India, and the rest is another story for another day. Technology made a huge difference throughout, right? Then how do we study, read, write? There's a screen reading application. What you see on the screen, I listen and work. I listen and study. That's how, apart from Braille, some of that, yeah? So moving to the next one, I finished MBA, got into Tata Motors, moved to Mumbai, lived there for 7 years by myself, and that was liberating because you're learning to move around on your own in the crowded local trains and so on. When I joined Tata Motors, as part of onboarding the initial days, my HR asked, we were all taken for an expedition in the Himalayas as part of leadership and team building training. So she said, Vishal, do you want to go? I said, of course I want to go. I had no clue what I would do there and how I'll climb. But how would I say no without trying? Yeah, so it's about trying. It's about attempting. And then you'll realize, you'll figure out. So when I started climbing the mountain, I cannot see the next step, right? I cannot what height the step is, what angle, whether it is slippery mud, rolling stone. You have to climb and go move a height, right? I would fall 25, 30 times a day initially. Soon realize you are anyways going to fall, better learn how to fall safely. And like a child learns to walk, I learned to climb, and I enjoyed it so much. I went back. After 2 years, I went to Nehru Institute of Mountaineering, did mountaineering course, a full-fledged 30-day course, grueled like anything. Army, the trainers were from Indian Army. And never experienced what I experienced there. Climb for 12 hours a day with those 20 kgs on, and you don't know where it takes ages to reach there. And when you ask, where is it, the final destination? Oh, it's right here to see. Right? So what I discovered and learned with that experience was mountain is like a wave, right? You climb like this, yeah, it's a wave which goes up, which means it also has, when you climb up, you have to fall down. You have to come down and learn along the way. Yeah, so when you encounter failure and when you don't get what you look for in the first phase, it's a stone to move ahead. Yeah, so think what next, because you're climbing up. Yeah, it's a mountain. It can't be straight up. Maybe one last experience. When I was rehabilitating myself, new to Bangalore, I never imagined so much of traffic in my life. And I had to cross busy roads. And this child came to me, maybe 6 or 7 year old. He said, Bhaiya, do you want me to help you cross the road? I said, I do want to do, but you're so small. So I said, no, I'll manage. I was not sure. But he was persistent. He said, come, it's empty, we'll go. So he pulled my hand and helped me cross the road. And I was thinking, such a young age, what made him do? So I asked him, why did you help me? He said, we are born to help each other. And he left. I was standing there for 2 minutes thinking what he was saying at that age. And that's when I realized we are actually born to help each other no matter what we have and we don't. Right? And that's what I've been observing, what you all have been doing, SAHODAYA and the management. Really appreciate what you've been doing. Thank you so much. And it's a pleasure and honor to be here. Thank you for having me. And I hope it was a bit helpful. And if you want to know more, I'll be around, or you can get in touch with me on LinkedIn if you're on LinkedIn. Not very active on social media, but I'll give you my email ID if you want. You can reach out if you need specific help. Yeah, it's vishal.hello@gmail.com. Yeah, Vishal, vishal.hello@gmail.com. Okay, so shall we conclude then? What did we pick up today in this 15 minutes? Bunking is helpful, okay? What else? Figure out where you stand and start from there. Yeah? Prepare, work hard, and you will get people around. Yeah, when you climb a mountain, it's not high all the time. It's learning along the way, and you go down and up. And yeah, we are bound for many things, including helping each other. Thank you. You've been such a great audience.
Thank you so much, Mr. Vishal Kumar ji. I think the takeaway, the punchline of what Mr. Vishal spoke for almost 17 to 18 minutes. Don't read stories, rather create your stories. Arpita Chandrasekhar, who had rather had a very adventurous life, a proud mother, and motherhood is not easy. Having married for the past 17 years, to raise children with all the abilities is not easy. And here we have an example of a lady, perhaps who have never cribbed for what life gave her, but embraced all that life gave her, and today she's amidst here to share her story.
Hello. Oh, yeah. Okay. Friends, as Vishal has already told, that your responses need to be verbalized for all of us, not just for one or two. So, yeah. I would make a beginning by thanking this organization for inviting me for the second time. This is my second time. So when I had visited for the first time, maybe all of you were the school-going kids, or I don't know, maybe some of you would have not born at all. So 24 years ago, right? I was just barely out of college, bubbling with energy, not distinguishing between the strangers and the acquainted ones. I was very much welcomed and very nicely treated by these people like Charles sir, Alvin sir, and Father Prashant Martha, and Pinto sir also I think was there at that point in time. If I may, because there are many Pintos, so we don't know who was that. So yeah, so I also heard that Father Pinto was also there at that point in time when if my memory serves me right. So yeah, that's the introduction part of it. And my story, as you all know, that I'm born in a Muslim family as an eldest child of 5, and I have a youngest brother who is also visually impaired. So it was difficult, schooling was okay because it was a special school. All of us were people with vision impairment, so there was no difference. We did not know what the challenges. We did not know the outside world. So that is why we all say that inclusive education should be introduced as early as possible, so that the sighted child knows visually impaired child, and the visually impaired child knows the sighted person. They grow together. We actually, when we were studying in college, up to college, we did not have any interaction with sighted children, right? When we came to college, we were low in confidence. In fact, I used to first rehearse what I had to speak to approach any of my friends sitting next to me. Okay, I want water. I will ask how will I ask her? Look, can you please help me with a glass of water, or will you please take me to the place where the water is kept? What should I say? I don't know whether this is looking so silly and simple, but it was difficult at that point in time, So then later, because of my activity in the class and picking up things and hard work and all that, I had a lot of friends, so many friends, and so devoted friends rather. They would never bunk the class without me. So if they wanted to bunk the class, they would come behind me for 3 days. They used to convince, look, this class we are bunking. I said, okay, you all go. No, they said, no, we are not bunking without you. So you have to come. What we would do? It was NMKRV College. Those of you who have seen NMKRV College in Mangaluru, it's next to a theatre called Nanda Theatre those days. So we all would plan for a movie. But then I would say, look, I would not want to go to the theatre to enjoy the movie. So if I sit in the college terrace, I can hear it. So everybody else would join with me on terrace to listen to my movie experience, listening experience. They would also watch movie, and they would say, you know what, we've all saved the money for paying ticket in the movie, so let's go have something in the restaurants. So we used to go together, have masti. That was the college time. But the worst part, the way where we lacked the support, we did not have technology those days. The computers have come off late, that is after 1995, 96, 98 rather, for everybody, in the colleges and library, etc. So before 98, it was difficult. We had access to the information. You can just, pay attention to what I say now. We had access to information only to a specific page of a book where my friend used to refer and read out. It was a part of her reading activity, and I would benefit. Can you imagine this? So we did not have any extra reading access because the books were of ink print. We did not get braille books. And technology was those days very, it was just newly coming up. So it was not a full-fledged computer systems everywhere. So it was difficult. That's a challenge. And then I still remember my optional English and women's studies papers. I could not get, and Anvith is very, very fortunate to be, cradled here in this college. So I would request the Aloysius College to, have more Anviths. Maybe you can advertise in your admission campaigns saying that this many, I know that all the visually impaired people cannot be accommodated in one college, but at least certain, you can have a percentage or number, whatever it is, whatever that suits the college. The idea is that we can produce more Anviths. So that's one suggestion, request I can make to Aloysius. And after finishing college, I came up with another challenge. I told you that I was born in a Muslim family. I had to deal with triple disabilities, like vision impairment, a woman, and a cultural barrier. We were not allowed to go wherever we liked, unaccompanied. And my family was saying that, you have studied in Ramana Maharshi Academy for the Blind. You've not picked up the basic nuances of the religion. Now that you have studied, you are educated, you have done your graduation. Now you will not practice what we teach you at home in terms of religion. You will ask questions for everything. Why should we do namaz? What is the meaning of it and all that? So better we send you to a madrasa where your food, shelter, clothing need is taken care of, and you don't have to work. I said nothing doing, because I've seen the road. I've seen the road of independent living, and why would I go back to the cage? I'm a bird. I have to fly, so you cannot cut my wings. So I had to revolt, but my parents are not bad people. They are very sweet. They have supported me for every step in learning, education. Only thing is that their differences with me were something that could not be resolved. So I had to walk out of the house, and I had to choose my own path. Then I found this wonderful man called Chandrasekhar, who is with you. So whatever my achievements today, whether in personal life or social life, it's all because of his support. I acknowledge that. As far as my personal life is concerned. And now, in the job working scenario, I was enjoying the work in the social field. I was teaching in the school where I studied. That was to make a beginning. And then I worked for an NGO called All India Confederation of the Blind as a project coordinator. It was a very satisfying job. We had to travel across the country. And I don't know if I have time, but I will quickly tell you one incident where there was this family of vision impaired girl. That family had two daughters. One a sighted daughter, the other one is a vision impaired daughter. So in the marriage of a sighted daughter, this vision impaired girl was just given in a dowry. She had no status of her own. So I'm thankful to the organization that is All India Confederation of the Blind, with their support and with the support of local police and by God's grace of all. So we went there, we protested, we brought that girl out, and we got her married to a visually impaired person who was a lower division clerk in the Defense Department. That was a success story. Okay, and but this was a satisfying job, all right, but it was not a paying job, right? I had my own ambitions, I had my children, I had my family to take care of. So I came back to Bangalore. This project in National Confederation of the Blind, All India Confederation of the Blind was in Delhi. I came back to Bangalore. IT industry was booming. So I said, okay, if I can enter, more people like me can enter into the industry. This was in the year 2005. Okay, so I wrote to the CEO of iGate Global Solutions, Fanish Murthy. He just called me for a curiosity, not with the hope of giving me a job or something like that. Just wanted to have an interview with me, and just was curious to know how I would operate computer. So with me, I had carried this JAWS software. I took his permission, installed the software, and said, "Sir, imagine that I am your secretary. Dictate me the letter. I will send. I will do your correspondence demo, and it will be free. You don't have to pay for me." Then he dictated something, and I wrote an email, and then immediately the offer letter was issued. I was not asked any other questions at all. So that was the first breakthrough that I got in iGate Global. And after that, I moved to Satyam Computers. Satyam Computers, all of you remember, right? Management students at least, you know what is Satyam Computers scam, right? Yeah. So later it was a wonderful opportunity that was given to me by Ramlingaraju. I don't know, I don't care about any other controversies, but he gave me a job. So yeah, after that it became Tech Mahindra. The company was taken over by Tech Mahindra. I was in the company for about 7 years. After that, it was nice. People would appreciate my work, and I was getting good appraisal ratings. All that was fine. I was getting good money, but though they were saying that you're extraordinary, you are outstanding in everything, they would not promote me for a team lead post because it was not acceptable for them to work under a visually impaired person as a team lead. So that was but nobody would tell me on your face, but that was the thing. So that is one primary. Secondary, it was so demanding. The job was so demanding. My children were small. I started at 7 o'clock to office, and by the time I would reach home, it was 9:30 evening. So then I said I would apply for government job. Then this last leg, probably at the age of 34, 35, I applied for IBPS, and then I got appointed in Corporation Bank. Then Corporation Bank, now it is Union Bank. I'm enjoying my work. I'm happy, and I have I told you that 3 children, right? Two biological boys, and 1 girl adopted by me. No, I'm not telling this to brag or anything like that. So I just want to bring to your notice that there was these 2 twin girls who are visually impaired, okay, abandoned by sighted people, sighted parents, on grounds of disability. So they're very beautiful girls, very bright girls, beautiful girls. So one child is with me, the other child is with my friend. So we both of us, and it was also not very easy. They had all stupid laws. Twins cannot be separated. Twins cannot be separately given to a single. 2 different homes. That was the rule. So we fought with the judge. Actually, we said, okay, if you are not giving us 2 different children in different homes, what is the alternative that you are suggesting? So he did not have an answer. So we had to amend the laws. So we made the laws change according to our requirements in the adoption laws. So we are thankful, and I have a daughter given to me by God. Thank you so much, God, for that. And I think those are the concluding things. And I was told that this was an interactive session. If anybody has any question, they can ask me. And one more thing, when this event was being planned, Roshan sir and Charles sir asked me whether my husband could play tabla. And I said yes, he could play tabla. And along with him is Mr. Vidwan K. Gururaj. He's an All India Radio A-grade artist. I thought he would sing also, and my husband can play tabla. So this is an alteration we have made without consulting Charles sir and Alvin sir. So if they're okay with it, that will be very nice. Thank you so much. And I can handle questions if any, or we can proceed further.
Every word is an inspiration. And as a working woman who sometimes keep cribbing at things. My only question to you is, how did you manage? Perhaps an epitome of rationality, a secular citizen, a fearless woman who dared to ask questions, who dared to break the barriers, and here she is as a mother to 3 children, 2 biological and 1 adopted, again making a difference even there. Thank you. And as she was speaking to the gathering, she addressed about a wonderful person in her life, and that's her beloved husband, Mr. Chandrasekhar, who is not just been with her as a pillar of support all through her journey, but also is an accomplished person. And God has gifted him with a talent to play tabla. And now I request Mr. Chandrasekhar to kindly come forward and showcase your God-given talent with the audience here.
Will be in Kannada, which is the message of Swami Vivekananda. I want you all to repeat this, what Swamiji said. Kindly repeat. Arise, awake, stop not till the goal is reached. Yeli, ಎದ್ದೇಳಿ ಗುರಿ ಮುಟ್ಟುವವರೆಗೂ ನಿಲ್ಲದಿರಿ. When I was sitting there, I saw here the people working for Swamiji's vision. I was really inspired, so I have chosen this song. उत्तिष्ठत जाग्रत मनोजा उत्तिष्ठत जाग्रत मनोजा उत्तिष्ठत जाग्रत ಗುರಿಯನ್ನು ಸೇರುವವರೆಗೂ ನೀ ಅರೆಕ್ಷಣ ನಿಲ್ಲದೆ ಮುನ್ನಡೆಸತನೆ. उत्तिष्ठत जाग्रत मनोजा उत्तिष्ठत जाग्रत मनोजा उत्तिष्ठत जाग्रत. ನಿನ್ನಯ ಗುರಿಯು ಆತ್ಮದರ್ಶನ ನಿನ್ನೊಳಗೆ ಇದೆ ಆರತುನ. ನಿನ್ನಯ ಗುರಿಯು ಆತ್ಮದರ್ಶನ ನಿನ್ನೊಳಗೆ ಇದೆ ಆರತುನ. ಬನ್ನ ಪಡುತ್ತ ಈ ಕ್ಷುದ್ರ ಜೀವನದಿ ಬನ್ನ ಪಡುತ್ತ ಈ ಕ್ಷುದ್ರ ಜೀವನದಿ ಇನ್ನು ಕೊಳ್ಳಲದಿರು ಮುನ್ನಡೆಸಕನೆ. उत्तिष्ठत जाग्रत मनोजा उत्तिष्ठत जाग्रत. ಮಮತೆಯ ಈ ದೇಹವೇ ನೀನೆಂದು ಭ್ರಮಿಸದಿರೈನೆ ಎಂದೆಂದು. ಮಮತೆಯ ಈ ದೇಹವೇ ನೀನೆಂದು ಭ್ರಮಿಸದಿರೈನೆ ಎಂದೆಂದು. ಅಮರ ಆತ್ಮನಿ ಅಮೃತ ಪುತ್ರನಿ ಅಮರ ಆತ್ಮನಿ ಅಮೃತ ಪುತ್ರನಿ ಅಮಲಾನಂದದಿ ಪರಿಪೂರ್ಣಮುನಿ. उत्तिष्ठत जाग्रत मनोजा उत्तिष्ठत जाग्रत मनोजा उत्तिष्ठत जाग्रत. ಗುರಿಯನ್ನು ಸೇರುವವರೆಗೂ ನೀ ಅರೆಕ್ಷಣ ನಿಲ್ಲದೆ ಮುನ್ನ सकने उत्तिष्ठत जाग्रत मनुजा उत्तिष्ठत जाग्रत मनुजा उत्तिष्ठत जाग्रत शृण्वन्तु विश्वे अमृतस्य पुत्राः आये धामानि दिव्यानि तस्तुः वेदाहमेतं पुरुषं महान्तम् आदित्यवर्णं तमसः परस्तात् तमेव विधित्वा अतिमृत्युमेति नान्यः पन्था विद्यते यनाय उत्तिष्ठत जाग्रत प्राप्य वरान् भूदत उत्तिष्ठत जाग्रत प्राप्य वरान् निबोधत. Thank you.
But looking at the challenge these people go through every day, with the fear, what we have is perhaps absent because they are much more confident, they are determined, and the grit and confidence what they carry with themselves comes out in the way they work in the society and in the community. Thank you so much, Mr. Chandrasekhar, for that rendition. And I also thank Mr. Gururaj, who started this melodious song with the very famous quotation from Vivekananda, "Arise, awake, and stop not till your goal is reached." And now, to inspire all of us, we have another resource person. That's Mr. Shreyas Reddy. So may I please request Mr. Shreyas Reddy to inspire us with your words of motivation. So let's give a huge round of applause to Mr. Shreyas Reddy.
Very good afternoon, and very good afternoon, everybody. Is it boring? Do you want to take a break? Okay. So, firstly, I'm very happy to be here. I'm thinking, where do I start? Because I'm so mesmerized by already the two journeys that I've heard. So, let me just share a journey of mine. I just want to talk my heart out and share my journey. So, I was born on 14th October. I do not know why that date was chosen, but maybe I'll try to unveil at the end why, I think. Why 14th? So, my parents and I, we almost looked 73 different schools, and not one could offer an education. Like, we were rejected. We were rejected for different reasons. Whether for my disability or not, they did not say us, but I did not get an admission, precisely. Moving on from there, the 74th school gave me the opportunity to study 13 years, where I was privileged to do that, post which I chose commerce in 9th and 10th. I went through this different phase in my life. I was born partially sighted. I was having this 40 to 60% sight, to where I lost my sight in my 9th grade. And also I did come across, or I faced through the harassment or a mental trauma that I could go through by my own few of my, should I call them friends, or should I call them classmates, or should I call them enemies? I'll leave it to you guys. So, but anyways, I was an outstanding student, but I would hesitate to talk to people. I was this guy who was so shy, I would only be inside the books and inside the class, would not know what to do. Since you guys are students, I would go ahead and say that for me to talk to a girl was, a very big thing. But 9th and 10th passed, I also stood first in the class, but I wanted to discover or identify myself what I wanted to do more. Should I be the outstanding student only inside the class, or should I be the all-rounder? So that happened. 10th from ICSE syllabus over. I was so happy for the school, and I was so thankful for the school. Then 3 different schools, 11th and 12th from Cambridge International Education, Cambridge University, UK. I was privileged, but at the same time, I was having this cultural shock. It was very common for people to peck. Okay, I'm not going to explain more there, but yes, it was a cultural shock. It was good to go through that because whatever the shyness that I had, that all disappeared. Post that, by then I was trying to be an all-rounder. I learned how to bunk 1 or 2 classes, right? And post that, again, 7 different colleges, nobody gave an opportunity. Came to St Joseph's, which is a sister college of this college in Bangalore. Father Praveen Martis interviewed, got an opportunity to study, 3 years done, BA over. Then I told my parents I want to actually go to New Zealand to study, because now by then I was from the top ranker, I was like a mediocre. I would only get first class. I was not a distinction student and such. Don't take this as an inspiration, okay, by the way. Okay. So all that happened, I wanted to fly to New Zealand, and I wanted to pursue my MBA. I wanted to float a startup there. By then, I had already experimented a startup here in Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore. So it's a social startup. All that happened. So, but my parents said, "You're the only son. How do we let you go?" Right? Especially my mother. And yes, so New Zealand thing is gone. Then I was thinking, what better do I do here, being in India? I mean, with all due respect to India. Right? So all of this happened one night, basically around 10ish. After my dinner, I was complaining, "Mom, you don't let me do anything. Dad, you don't let me do anything. This is very pathetic. Should I be complaining that I am blind?" By then I had lost my sight. I had lost almost everything, just that I could see light perception. Right? So, are you all still listening? Sleeping? Okay. So all of this happened. So my mother was like, "Dude, why don't you do law? I mean, 3-year LLB. Anyways, you were born on 14th, and so with Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was also born on 14th. That actually caught my attention. Remember, I was born on 14th, I said, and why? So I think this could be the answer. I'm still figuring out. So actually that sounded very exciting. So I did 3-year LLB, and it was not very easy or bed full of roses. Almost I approached like 37 different law firms, to do my internship in my first year. They were like, they will get back to me, or they will come back to me, or they said some lame excuses. Sorry for the unparliamentary thing there. So, yes, all of this happened. Second year came of my law, 3-year LLB. I happened to meet a distinguished speaker then. She is a designated senior counsel in the Honorable High Court of Karnataka. So I actually complained, "Ma'am, I'm actually not getting any internships. I would not disturb your firm or your daily conduct or business. I would just sit somewhere in the corner. I would listen to what's happening in the firm. So she was happy to put me in touch with somebody who took me to the Honorable Sitting Judge of the High Court. I interned there. My internships have been so diverse that I interned from the best corporate firms, including Harish Salve, like the best lawyers who only took ₹1 to save his client, right? So I've got the opportunities of such. I got an opportunity to intern under the sitting Supreme Court Judge, Justice Abdul Nazir sir. He comes from very much from this part of Dakshina Kannada, Mudabidre. But now he's the governor. He's retired as the Supreme Court Judge, but he's the governor of the Andhra Pradesh. So got that opportunity, but still I'm not satisfied. And 3 years done, COVID came. It actually gave me another 6 more extra months to be getting a gift of convocation. 6 months late, no complaints. Want to embrace it with the happiness that this bliss. Anyways, law is done, master's done, PhD is going on. I was jobless for 4 months. 4 months, not doing anything. I was a lawyer. No, actually, I was a lawyer who became advocate Shreyas, right? But no job in my hand. Like 3 months, 4 months, I had to depend on my parents. What next? This was the situation. Anyways, that happened. Got an opportunity to teach at the another sister college, St Joseph's Law College. I was a guest faculty there. Did not want to give up because I know and I still knew that time that it's okay. Are yaar, it's okay. 3 months, 4 months, doesn't matter. Anyways, got an opportunity there to teach for 6 months. I think they were all of your age people, like 20, 21. I took 2 classes, banking law, for 2021, but I got to learn a lot. I got to actually sense a lot and be less boring that time, or even now. I don't give gyan. I hope I have not given gyan for you guys. I used to be more philosophical. I've become less philosophical now. I used to be more serious, but I've become less serious now. Yes, all of this happened. Now I wanted to quit this teaching, this profession that gave me bread. It used to pay me per hour 2,000, right? So I used to hit 60,000 or more than that. And I used to enjoying the conversations, enjoying the students coming and telling me, sir, this is my latest crush, sir. Like, not all of them come and tell. There were a few favorite, you know. So, yes, all of this happened, but I wanted to quit. I was like, if I keep teaching, I think I should start teaching myself more. So I was doing my part-time practice as an advocate. I quit teaching and I took up full-time practicing as an advocate. Then got opportunities to argue or make my submissions before my honorable High Court judges. We call them my lords. So I argued, and very lately argued a particular matter before my honorable Chief Justice of Karnataka High Court. So he's almost, just to give you guys a perspective, he's almost as equivalent to a governor of Karnataka. So got an opportunity, argued a particular matter. I remember, I think Dr. Mona was speaking about how public transport could be inaccessible for blind people or visually impaired. So very soon, our KSRTC has been given an orders by the Honorable High Court of Karnataka. So by the virtue of that, our buses are going to be like, your next stop is Udupi. Your next stop is, so it's going to be coming up soon. April is the deadline. We'll see if KSRTC does anything. So, thank you. So almost we have that in Bangalore, BMTC, Bangalore Metro Transport Corporation. So this is what the work that I do. So the work that I do for my bread, that is for my money. Nothing wrong to make money, right? And the butter that I actually try to get also. So the pro bono, what we were talking about, basically the free legal aid, people who cannot afford a lawyer. So I try to help or try adding value. That's my butter. But why am I here? I think I should ask a question and answer that. So there was this very close student who actually came up and she said, she went through this depression. And I am trying to figure out this. I also have a sister who is of 23, 22 years of age. Depression is a very big thing today. I think open all our senses. I think it makes sense to open all our senses. Look around. See, there are people who have hardly 1 meal a day or 2 meals a day. I think take them as an inspiration. And I think everything is within us, guys. So you guys are so good. You guys have been so sustaining to be tolerating us. And I think every question has our answer within amongst us. So having said that, still I am not successful because I want to argue or I want to make my submissions before the Supreme Court honorable judges and landmark cases and many more. So it's very fun to be here and very happy and grateful to the college, to Charles sir, to our father and to everybody basically. And it's nice to be here. I'd love to meet everybody, but I hope that cannot happen. So thank you so much. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Very grateful.
The worst thing than blindness is to have a sight and don't have a vision, as Helen Keller put it across. From getting rejections from 73 schools, for having shared space with great people across. It has been a mesmerizing journey of you, Mr. Shreyas Reddy. Kudos to you for dreaming big, dreaming to go to foreign country and get your MBA done. Perhaps we wouldn't have dared to do that. Thank you so much for being here and inspiring all of us. A big thank you. And now we have Miss Megha Patangi with us, who has a big train of achievements with her. A woman perhaps have a very captivating smile, and that smile which has been all through since 9 a.m. this morning.
Hello everyone, a very good afternoon. Can I have a little louder? A very good afternoon. Thank you. How is each of you doing today? Good, better, or best? A mixed answer. Once again, good, better, or best? Okay, I can hear this time a little more vote on the best. But honestly, are you truly best by now, listening to so much since morning? If I would have been a student, sitting in your place, literally speaking, it's too much to hear in one go in a couple of hours. It's overwhelming. So since I'm a person with visual impairment and I cannot observe and watch your expressions, whether you are smiling, whether you are tired, but definitely I can feel the vibe. And I could feel the vibe when I was sitting there. How maybe the audience is feeling by now. So I could sense definitely few of you are tired, maybe also a bit of boring element, not because you're not enjoying, but that's human nature. And together with that, when too much of inspiration flows in, sometimes it's overwhelming to take. It creates a pressure that, oh my God, what we are doing nothing. See these people, they have done so much. Oh my God, what we will do from today. Too much of pressure, expectations. So, but before I go ahead, I want you all to be relaxed, comfortable. No pressure, no expectations. It's okay. Wherever you are, it's fine. So, being the last speaker for today, there is a drawback as well as there is a plus point. Drawback because the other three speakers have really raised the bar high, have covered up a lot. And the positive sign is that I have ample amount of time to speak now. Now I am no more restricted to 10 minutes or 15 minutes because nobody is going to follow me, so I can speak how much ever I want. And trust me, I love holding mic. I can talk for hours and hours and hours. But before I talk, I want to do a small activity so that you all feel comfortable, centered, calm, and be present here completely. Honestly, I'm not going to bore you, but still, it's important if you are feeling a little restless by now. We have heard so much. So just a small activity, nothing we are going to do. We are just going to breathe, which we are already doing. But 2 deep breaths by closing our eyes. We all can do that? Okay, so may I request everybody to close your eyes. And silent. A deep breath in, deeper, and out. Exhale completely. Feel it's okay where I am and whoever I am. It's okay. One more deep breath in. Last one, give your 100%. And breathe out. Completely. Take your time, feel centered, feel calm, and open your eyes. Thank you. It feels much better, peaceful. The speakers have really shared wonderful stories. And I think since morning we have heard a lot of speeches, thank you notes, expressions. But I now, at this point of time, want at least a couple of students to understand what your expectation was when you came for this session or you registered. And then I will take off from there. Because I just don't want to start, oh, this was what I felt. Because I think that you have already consumed. So it's done. So what's your expectation or what you felt you will be gaining? If 2 or 3 daring students can stand up and express. Let me see who is the courageous one. It really takes a lot to stand in between of 400 people and stand up and say. Okay, yeah. 1 or 2. It may not be a question, just your expectation of what you felt before coming here. Anyone speaking? Okay.
My name is Joel. I'm doing BA Psychology. Okay. So when we were asked to register, I was not in full minds to register. And though the name was Eyeconic, though I didn't feel it so much interesting. So I was a little nervous. I did not like to register. But finally, by mistake, I registered. And I'm sitting here now. Okay, it's because of Riha I registered. Okay. So I'm sitting here, but I'm very much happy listening to people, beginning from Manvith, okay. Beginning from him. Few things that I liked very much, what Vishal said. If you know that you're falling, learn to fall safe. It's obvious that we in life, though we are not blind, we are blinded often. So we are going to fall. So it is better to learn to fall safe. That's what I liked very much in today's session. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. One more person.
Actually, specially abled student over here. So I came here just for one reason. inspiration. And I think I have gained a lot of stuff over here and the inspiration and to go on in your life. As for me, even I have gone through a lot of stuff over here. So I can actually relate with you. And I feel like, yeah, there is other side to this world, which is actually good. And there's also a bad side. We can't actually ignore that also. But I hope that after from here, at least we will have some good thoughts and everything like will go good. That's the only reason I'm here.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. And you both definitely need a big applaud because it really takes courage to stand up and speak. Because what is our problem? We always think, what will others think about me? Whether I'll be speaking right, whether I'll be speaking wrong. And you know, this is the problem with everybody. I was listening to Shreyas when he said that, don't know whether to call those people as friends or enemies or classmates or whatever, when he was being bullied. It happens with everyone. So today when I was entering this place, and I was talking to Charles since a couple of months about college, I was always having a nostalgic feeling about my college days because we have always heard that college days are beautiful. You are no more into school uniform. I have been through a girls' college, so I've seen girls coming to college dressed beautifully, of course, with a lot of friends and then going out. But my college days were not like that because I was knowing that I am having some sort of deficiency. I could see, but I knew I cannot see as good as others. And my motive when I was in college was, how can I hide this from my other college mates and teachers? The biggest mistake which I did. And why? Just with the same thought, as she said, I don't know how will others take it. I have no idea. Will they accept me as a friend? And I am in a stage, probably like ending to my teens and going to be major. I want friends, I want people around me. I have no idea whether they will accept me. And I have been through situations like when I'm going to college exams and then post-college when I was doing company secretaryship exams. I wanted to sit close to window because bright light used to help me. But I heard students saying that, are you doing a drama? You don't look like blind. Like till today, I can't understand what do you mean by look like blind? Do I really need to look like this to be a blind? Or do I always need to close my eyes and walk to look like blind? What do you mean by look like blind? I need help. And I have never spoken about asking for help. And that's why I face a lot of challenges. And now I'm opening up. I want to talk about it. What's wrong in that? So I could so much relate to Shreyas. Then, connecting to what Vishal said about a purpose in life. You know what I'm trying to do? I'm just trying to connect the dots because I don't want you all to get overwhelmed with more messages, with more inspiration. No. Let's just connect the dots. So about purpose. When I was dealing with all these things, trying to hide and trying to try hard to hide as much possible from my surroundings, from family members, that I have some issue, it was too much at certain point of time. And there were days when I was walking on road, I could not see buses passing by, taxis passing by, people passing by. And a lot of people out of them used to be my father's friends. They used to come at home and say, your daughter has too much of attitude. She is walking on road, we are smiling at her, but she's not responding. But they never took that little time to talk to my father that, is there something wrong? Do you want to talk about it? Nobody asked. So after a couple of years, it was too much for me to handle because I was not even opening at home. Only one concern, what if I open up and my mother and father says, no more going out alone. They will kill my freedom. But one day, I met a small accident. I fell inside a drainage. I got a ligament fracture, not a major one, though just a minor one. But then that day, my mother said, and then I was cooking stories that, hey, because there was a truck, I fell into road. But she's a mother. and mother knows everything, she said, stop it. Just stop it. And open up the truth that you cannot see. And you slipped because you cannot see. I can watch you, but I want you to open up now. It's enough of hiding. And that day, I still remember, we both sat and we cried for hours. Just let everything come out. And my question was, why me? It's always cribbing, why me? And then, as Vishal said, it's sometimes so important to understand the purpose. So my mother cooked up a story for me. Though we know that there is no reality in that story, but sometimes maybe those fictitious stories also helps a lot. So my mother said that when you were taking birth, at that same point of time, there were many children who were coming on this world, on this earth. And now when God was sending them, God has a limited stock of eyesight, and he has to distribute amongst everybody. Now what to do? There was one child left and God's stock was over. What can he do? Do you feel he should have sent you with complete sight and that child without any? So he thought, you are somebody whom he can send with a limited eyesight for that purpose to spread that vision amongst other people on earth. So he took a little from you, shared to that other one, and send you on this earth for a purpose. I will not say that I have found out my purpose till today, but at least I'm happy that I understood that there is a purpose for me being here. And from that day till today, I never asked, why me? I never asked. Then, what Arpita touched upon, inclusive education. Definitely, since I was trying to hide during my school, during my college, during my company secretary, circling back to the same reason. Why? Because I knew people will not accept me. Why? Because I knew they are not being taught to stay in that world of people with disability or in an inclusive environment. Again, why? Because they have not been through that sort of education system. And I can also witness how this creates a difference because I have an 8-year-old nephew at my home. I have a 1.5-year-old niece as well, but she's too small to talk about. But 8-year-old nephew, who definitely was born right in front of me. And then we had a very great time together. So there are so many things which I am always mesmerized and shocked. I'll tell you one short story with him. So we both were sitting in a balcony and we both were talking to each other. And there were some crackers bursting quite some distance away. And he was very happy and he was telling me, so he calls me Bua. So Bua, can you see there are crackers? I said, no, you know that my eyes are weak. I cannot. He said, okay, fine. Then after some time, again, there was a little dark. And again, he said the same thing. So I said, you know, I cannot see. And he started clapping hard. I'm like, why are you clapping? So I'll tell you one more related story why he started clapping. So one day, there was a moon, full moon day, and that day the moon's color was a little bit yellowish tinge. I don't know that's reality, but that is what he said that day. So he ran into my room and then, Bua, come on, let's go out. See, there is a yellow moon in sky. Okay, I went with him and I said, wow, yellow moon. I also started clapping. And since moon is shining in the dark sky, so because of the high contrast, actually I could see. I don't know the color, but I could see. I could locate the moon. So I also became excited. And then he asked, kids are really smart. He asked, your eyes are weak, right? Are you making a fool of me? I said, look at the moon and you are saying, yeah, I can see, and you started clapping. You are making a fool of me. He always does that to me. So then I said, no, since you started clapping, because you started clapping, God gave me energy and then I was able to see. Now can you understand why that day he started clapping for the crackers? Oh my God, that little child, he has so much of understanding and sensitivity whenever he's getting dressed up to go out. He will come and stand right in front of me. and will take my hand and will place on his shoulder. I will be like, initially, when this was new, I never used to understand why he's doing that. But then only once he said, can't you touch and feel what I'm wearing? I'm going out. I'm looking smart. I want you to understand what I'm wearing and just tell me, hey boy, you are looking handsome. Oh my God, he doesn't want to hear just I'm saying him handsome. No, he wants it to be validated. So touch and feel me. So much of sensitivity that how to engage or explain a person with visual impairment. Even I took years to make my family, my parents, my brother understand, but that little child at the age of 4 or 5 understood. Why? Because he was getting that environment at home. And someday he was asked about it in school. There was a question from teacher for all the students that, have you been with any person with visual impairment or a person with blindness? Have you helped? He was the only one raising his hand. That day he came running home. He said, you know, today I was the only one raising hand in my class just because of you. And I love you. So this is what an inclusive education, if one child being with one person at home creates such a big difference, can you imagine what it will do when we start having inclusive education at home, right? And then final touch I would like to give, this is all when I was already knowing about what my disability is, etc. But from where this started, and this will be a message definitely to all the students, but along with students, a message for faculty members and teachers. As far as I remember, I think I was a little uncomfortable making an eye contact or looking at blackboard when I was in grade 5 or 6. But then first time in grade 8, when I was giving a class test of maths and I could not look at the blackboard, I could not see the text written on the blackboard, right sitting from the first bench. Of course, I told my class teacher, she could not help me much because she did not have a question paper, but since time was short, she helped me to give the exam, but then this went into principal's office and became a serious issue. There was a parent call. She called my mother and she insulted my mother like anything, saying that your child is blind. Why are you making her study in this normal school? She is creating a disturbance for the class. And that was the first time and the last time I saw my mother crying in front of so many people, being embarrassed because of me, not for me. There is a difference when she cries for me and because of me. So teachers, principal, they are somebody from whom we learn. I wish she could have dealt with that situation better. But I was blessed by wonderful teachers on the other hand, who that day learned and said, you are going to continue in this school. And from today onwards, how many years is left in this school? We all will be helping you. And this issue will no longer go into principal's office. And they made it sure till I passed out. So yes, that is what education, what I am with all these stories is trying to communicate is, if you are a person with visual impairment, or not only person with visual impairment, but any disability, try and open up. Don't try to hide. It's okay, as I said at the beginning itself. It's okay. Speak. Few people may not accept you, but if one accepts, that's a win. You need to create a change slowly by slowly. And if you're not a person with visual impairment, as humans, you have great capacity with your words and actions to make and break others' experience. So create an environment where others can come and speak with you openly. And let's create an inclusive environment together. We all feel pressurized and worried about, oh, how much marks are we getting? Or whether we will pass? Or whether we will create a career? Come on, have you ever thought that you're still breathing? Is that not enough? It's okay. And that's the way I started with breath. Whenever I was low, I always remember one thing. I'm still breathing. I'm alive. I have got this life with a purpose. I'll make it work, whatever it takes. And that is what I ask you. It's okay It might not go the way you are planning or thinking to be, but still remember you are alive, you are breathing. Whatever it takes, just make it. Maybe in a different way, but go through it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Megha, for inspiring all of us. Definitely an example, a moving example as to how can we become the better version of ourselves each day. So when we are born with a kind of a disability, the only choice what we have is to accept it or to live it. But rather, she chose to accept it, live every day at a time, think positive, put herself into every kind of circumstance and rise like a phoenix. Thank you so much. You are no less than a motivational speaker. If you feel that, kindly give her a huge round of applause. And now we are moving ahead with the last segment of this particular event. That's the panel discussion, which is not exceeding more than 10 minutes. At 1 o'clock, we are aiming to wind up this entire event. And I congratulate students for your patience, for your keen listening. And 5 minutes, we are going to have an interactive session with the resource persons here. And then 5 minutes, the stage is all open for any kind of queries from the students. And then we are going to wind up with the college anthem. Now, I request Dr. Charles Furtado, the director of Admin Block, to navigate us through an exciting journey to know these people better and to sensitize on having an awareness which is merely not taught in a formal education, but rather that's very important as we live in a community. I want students to participate actively, clear your doubts, and you could represent the questions of so many other who would want to ask few questions. Opportunity like this don't come on an everyday basis, so let's make this day a productive one.
Thank you, Dr. Mona. Well, students, I would like to start by saying I am proud of all of you. Proud of you because I think though the train was late by 1 hour, there were problems. Somehow there were starting problems today. But our friends from Bangalore, let me tell you, they are from other places, but they are all settled in Bangalore now, were so able to take very little time to freshen up, and they were here as soon as they possibly could. And once they came here, they have held sway over all of us, and I've noticed the pin drop silence, to fall back on a cliche. You know, there was pin drop silence. I could see that all of you were 100% into what was happening here, the narration, and that is why I would like to start by saying I'm proud of all of you. And one more thing I would like to say is, if you look back on this day some days later, I'm sure growing together will have become very palpable. See, many of us might not have had the opportunity to meet stalwarts like the four seated on my right. But then they are so down to earth, so friendly, so wonderful. I am speaking from experience. Vishal I knew from many years, but there has been a very long hiatus, and I'm so glad to reconnect with Vishal. In fact, I know his sister. I have met his brother once. I don't think he told all of you. There are 3 siblings in his family who have RP. And, they're all so proud of Vishal. I know because his sister Rekha spoke to me when I was, with her many years back again in Bangalore. And it was a sort of a reconnection so far as Vishal was concerned. You might wonder, it is given as panel discussion, why is he speaking like this? We are not going to have a panel discussion because we are running late, and I'm just going to make a few closing comments, and then I'm going to throw open this wonderful audience. In fact, I must tell you that all the seats are taken. There are students seated till the last row here, and they are all fully with us, even though we started more than 3 hours back, and it is fast approaching lunchtime, right? This speaks a lot about our future generation, right? They are very much interested, they are concerned, their heart is in the right place. I would like to make this comment very proudly. Now, now, growing together, the concept, as Dr. Mona said, can be extended to every facet of our life. And did you notice even an iota of self-pity when they spoke to you, students? Was there self-pity? Ayo, nange akigaitu. Why did this happen to me? Of all the people in the world, it was not there, right? And didn't you notice one more thing? They were able to empathize with all of you. And I think we should be able to empathize with them. And I know that you have empathized with them, right? Empathy is simply putting ourselves in the shoes of somebody else and looking at the world from their perspective, from their worldview. And I think that is what is the need of the hour today. We in the 21st century have extremely good technology, extremely good knowledge, information, money, success. But sometimes I feel, since I meet students of this age day in and day out, sometimes I feel, I'm not blaming anybody here, sometimes I feel that if at all we have a lack, it is sensitivity, awareness, being able to put ourselves in somebody else's place and look at the world from their perspective. I'm sure that today will make an impact, has already made an impact. It will remain with you and it will inspire you to try out new things. I think somebody put it beautifully. It was Vishal, I think, who said, we are all born to help each other. But help should always be within inverted commas. I remember long back when I was very young and I wanted to do good. You know, my heart was telling me help others, and I noticed a visually impaired person near the zebra crossing waiting for the light to turn green so that, sorry, not green, red, so that he can cross. And I thought, this is a good opportunity for me to help him. And I just rushed there, snatched his hand, and helped him to cross the road. I expected him to thank me. He said, I didn't want to cross the road. See, what I had done was, it was a very selfish act. I wanted to help him and feel good about it. So I went, snatched his hand, and helped him to cross the road. Little bit of ignorance was also there. Because he was standing there, I thought he had to cross the road. But no, he was waiting for somebody else there. Why I narrated this is, sometimes, you know, in the goodness of our heart, we forget that the people who lack one faculty are just like you and me, and many times much better than you and me. It is not that, you know, they are there waiting for our help. It is not that they are there lacking something, inferior to us or challenged. See, all these words don't mean anything, let me tell you, dear students. You know, the word handicapped has been banned now. Do you know etymology of this word handicapped? It happened in the 18th century when people were standing outside the railway station and other places in London with their cap in their hand. And these were the people who were lacking different faculties. And I believe they were, you know, holding their cap in their hand and waiting for some arms to be dropped into it. That is why that word is derogatory. We don't use that. But of course, whatever we use, differently abled, specially abled, physically challenged, the fact remains that they are just like you and me, are equals, and many a time much better than us. You saw the profiles of all these people, right? Amazing, isn't it? Take each one of them, and they have overcome the odds that life gave them. They have accepted. See, acceptance is important, dear students. Tomorrow we don't know what is going to happen to us in our lives. Acceptance is very important. And once we accept, we can take steps forward. What they need is definitely our help. See, I want to talk about Neil D'Souza, who is here. I was talking to Megha very casually, and she told me that he is her ex-colleague in Cisco when they were working together. I believe he was the only sighted, within inverted commas, with nearly 27 or 28 visually impaired employees. And I believe he has gone out of his way, and he has not done it as charity. He has not done it as help, within inverted commas, but he has made them comfortable. He has made them independent. He has respected them. I think he needs a big applause. Thank you for that, Neil. You are a brand ambassador for SAHODAYA. I think SAHODAYA also talks about this. You accompany, you don't lead them, you don't follow them, you accompany them and empower them. And they empower us. Do you agree with this? They empower us. And the way they narrated their stories says it all. So I'm not going to speak much because, as somebody reminded us very aptly, it is beyond 1 p.m. So let me thank all of you for registering with so much love, for wanting to be here, for bearing with this program which started late. I would like to thank Dr. Mona Mendonza for setting the tone and sustaining the tone right through this program and filling in the blanks and giving so many messages, emphasizing the things which these icons were speaking about. That is not an easy task. And she was doing it with her heart. So I would like to thank you, Dr. Mona. I would like to thank all the staff who are here. Silently, they have all been part of this Eyeconic. And I think all of us need a big applause. So let us give all of us a standing ovation. All of you stand up and give a standing ovation to the 4 icons who are here. I want you all to stand. Vishal, Shreyas, yeah. All of you. I also want to mention Reverend Father, Rector, Reverend Doctor, Principal, the Registrar, all the directors, and all Aloysians at this moment. And we will have only 2 or 3 questions now. Please be seated. I promise only 2 or 3 questions, and then we will have the college anthem. Okay? So I'm not going to ask them to say anything now. My apologies. It was supposed to be a panel discussion, but we will just close here. But I want you to respond to the questions from the audience. Quickly, can we have a few questions? 4 or 5 questions also are possible, but not more than, say, 6 to 7 minutes. Please respond immediately. Yeah.
I'm Anora, and recently my friends and I had an opportunity to assist a visually impaired bank officer through our block director, Dr. Charles. We helped her by recording the exam material through which she would prepare for the same. So through this opportunity, we have come to know that we would like to assist more people with vision impairment. So how do you think we can reach out to more people with vision impairment? Would you like to give any suggestion on how we could move on about this?
Okay, how do I help around? First, if you see people around in your own class or neighborhood, visually impaired, or somebody not talking much, or somebody hassled, go and just approach them and ask them, if you need any help, I'm around, let me know. Yeah? And often they may hesitate initially, but if you just talk to them a bit, identify yourself that you're around, that's it. They will approach you for any help, right? As students, you can, as you're already doing, some of you, right, write exams as a scribe. Scribe is a person who writes what the person with visual impairment dictates to you. Or help them with their notes, digitalizing the notes. Sometimes the material is not in accessible format, and be it in group studies, include them. And converting the material, recording, or converting the material in digital form. Yeah? And as Sahodaya, as a group, now you're becoming a university, right? And it's a great opportunity, and that's where you can think of creating an accessibility center where students from different backgrounds can get help so that the material, the environment, the campus is more inclusive and accessible for everyone. Yeah, who wants to add?
So that's a nice question. How many of you guys have heard of Be My Eyes application? Yeah, I think it's a very tiny application you can install, and you can, if somebody wants to check what is there around, you can help anybody just with the help of a particular application called Be My Eyes. So virtually you can help somebody who is visually impaired. Please try that out. Be My Eyes, which is today called Be My AI also.
Austin, and I'm from BA, second year. So I think I'll say the words of one of the popes who said to St. Francis of Assisi. He said that you in your poverty have put us to shame. So I will say to you that you in your abilities, even when you are disabled, have put us to shame because you have achieved so much. So my question to you is, all of you have faced rejections at some point or the other in your life. So what is that one thing or one person that kept you on going? Or was it an internal motivation that, no, I have to achieve you? Was it a family member, or was it something around you that motivated you?
So when you talk about rejections, yes, it's so common. Talking about when we started our professional career, getting into a job itself took a lot to convince that, oh, come on, though we are people with disability, we will be able to do all the work which other employees are able to do with the help of technology. There is something called screen reader, which you people can go and research about. There is an open source screen reader, NVDA, non-visual desktop access. There is a commercial version also, JAWS, job access with speech. And everything a person with visual impairment on computers or mobiles, laptops, tablets, they can do everything just by listening. So it took a lot to convince and to get into roles in which we wanted to. So definitely an internal motivation, self-motivation is required, because we believe that we know and we have the strength, technology is there. It's just that you need to explain. I would not even blame the people on the other hand. It's just that they are not exposed to it. So just don't expect that everything will come served on your plate. No. I believe nobody should act as victims. Let's put in our effort and see, and what's right for you will work. And talking about mentor, definitely mentorship helps a lot. I have one mentor in my life. When I was searching, so the team in which I was working in the first company got closed, and I was looking forward to build a career in which path to go. I met him. His name is Mr. Pranay Gadodia, and he's my mentor till today. He guided me. He took effort to listen all my rubbish questions. Today I used to say that, hey, I want to go for HR. Tomorrow I used to say, no, I want to do something in company secretary. The third day I want to say, no, I want to do something else. And he was okay to listen everything, because he said me that today you have the liberty. Once you choose, after a couple of years, you will not have this liberty. To do all sort of stupidity, do today. So yes, mentorship helps. Definitely we all should have one or the other mentor. But besides that, mentor will be able to help you only if you want to help yourself. So that is very important. Anybody would like to add?